Graham Watson, Liberal Democrat MEP for the South West. It appears that the government isn't going to make a bid, as far as we know, for European money towards the clear-up operation of the flooding in places like Somerset. What's your reaction?
Well, if these reports are true, I very much regret it. Of course, we can afford to do it from our own resources, but why look a gift horse in the mouth? This is a fund into which the United Kingdom pays. Why are we not drawing down from it? We managed, after some difficulty, to persuade the government back in 2007 to apply for money for the flooding in Gloucestershire, and we succeeded. And I've no doubt we would have succeeded again. But what's most important to my constituents is that the repair work is done, it is that the clean-up is adequately financed, and that we make sure we put in place the infrastructure to stop this happening again.
I mean, one of the reasons seems to be this idea of a threshold. There is indeed it's around £3 billion threshold ordinarily for applying for this fund, for national governments to apply for this fund. So why are you so convinced when the estimates seem to be around the £400 million mark for South West flooding? Why are you so convinced that the South West could have still made a bid?
Well, firstly, because we made the bid and got it in 2007. Secondly, because when I went to talk to the Commissioner about this, he welcomed the idea that we would be putting forward a bid. And thirdly, because 3.1 billion is the national threshold, but there is also provision for regional emergencies. This is nothing but a regional emergency, and we could have applied under that heading.
And there do seem to be precedents for applying for regional aid. Places like you mentioned, presumably Gloucestershire was one of those back in 2007, and also Central Europe in 2005.
Indeed, and that's why I believe that we could have done it. But I guess, as so often is the case, that there is a Treasury agenda behind this. The Treasury are not willing to allow the Department for Communities and Local Government to put in a bid for money which will have some impact, however small, on the UK's rebate from the European Union next year. Look, my view is, if we're going to be part of the European Union, let's use it to the full. This is money available to us. We should be drawing it down.
There's anyway a 10-week deadline, 10 weeks to apply from when the kind of disaster starts. Aren't we anyway by now out of time?
Well, we are indeed. We've reached the end of the deadline. Had the government been going to apply, it would have needed to do so by now. There's been a discussion in government. I believe there have even been some rows in government about this issue, but the decision is one we all have to live with. The important thing for me is, let's get on, do the clean-up, profit from the better weather, make sure we're not in such a bad position in the future, and most of all, speed up the switch from fossil fuels to renewable energy to stop the climate change that is causing these severe weather patterns.
A final word about the kind of long term, the future, and the clear up and preventing this kind of thing in future. Is there a role for Europe in that, do you think?
Well, actually there could be, and I've been working with authorities down the peninsula for a couple of years now on putting together a major bid for a water management plan. That would cost us something upwards probably of £100 million. It's the kind of thing that could easily be financed by a long-term, low-interest loan from the European Investment Bank of the kind that we had to rebuild Southmead Hospital in Bristol.
So in order to make a bid into that pot of money, what's the kind of process? How do you do that, and how are you helping from out here in Europe?
Well, we need to bring together the various stakeholders, the water companies, the local authorities, the landowners, the Environment Agency, and so on. We need to put forward a credible bid for a water management plan that will help business development in the region, that will make us less vulnerable to the kind of disruption that such flooding can cause, and I will be out there lobbying for it.